What is flow?
Flow is what describes this peculiar feeling of complete involvement with what you're doing that comes when you're paying attention to a goal, when you are reading the feedback that you get from the goal. For instance, a tennis player who is so attentive to every strike of the racket and who is paying attention to how the opponent returns the ball. This concentration on what goes on in the moment is the experience of flow that I have been studying for the past 30 years, more or less. There are two ways in which flow enriches a person's life. First of all, it makes everyday activities that otherwise would be a chore or a source of conflict or misery more enjoyable, so that even the things that we don't want to or don't like to do in everyday life can be improved and made more enjoyable. The second reason why flow is a source of enrichment in your life is that it helps you to organize, to synthesize, to harmonize. The first thing that everybody mentions as a characteristic of the kind of enjoyable activity they are doing is that they know very clearly what they have to do. In other words, the goals of the activity are clear and not conflicting and not confusing. For instance, as I mentioned also before, if you play tennis, you know exactly how to do and what you want to do. The rules and the goals are very clear. If you play chess, you know exactly what the next move should be, or at least what type of move is important for you to win. If you play a musical instrument, you know exactly what notes you want to play. In other words, you have not only an overall goal, you not only know what you want the activity to result in, but you know every minute what you want to accomplish. For instance, if you're climbing a mountain, every step of the way, you watch where you want to put your foot, what you want to put your fingers to pull yourself up, and the whole activity is very clearly focused on this series of steps or goals. And this is in contrast to everyday life. You know, in everyday life, we may have an overall goal. We want to accomplish something, but often the steps are not clear. You have kind of confusing, contradictory ideas of how to get there. So this clarity of goals is a very important element of an activity that is enjoyable.
Listen as a rock climber recalls an experience he once had.
When you first start climbing, you're very aware of capability. But after a while, you just do it without reflecting on it at the time. When you're climbing, you have to devote yourself totally to the climb. You fuse your thinking with the rock. It's the Zen feeling, like meditating or concentrating. One thing you're after is the one-pointedness of mind. You can get your ego mixed up with climbing in all sorts of ways, and it isn't necessarily enlightening. But when things become automatic, it's like an egoless thing in a way. Somehow, the right thing is done without you ever thinking about it or doing anything at all. It just happens.